Was check one. Oh, yeah, somebody probably want to hear that, so I might as well do that. Anyways, last time when we left off, we were with our intrepid garbage men preparing in the hub to head to the Great Desert on a grand expedition. Essentially put, the Great Desert is one of the better training areas, so to speak, for your characters. A lot of lower level targets, several numbers of them, and a lot of guards just strewn everywhere. Plus, a lot of easy ways to maintain money so you can feed yourself. You'll see what I mean when we get there. We're traveling through Auckland's Pride, it's a kind of a huge ordeal. And then one of the dumbest shenanigans, well, is going to happen. So, in the border between the Great Desert and the Holy Nation territory, they have this giant fortress that prevents you from going there, especially if you're, an enemy. So we had to go around, and unfortunately, one of the patrols of the Holy Nation caught us, and you can see this. It's pretty sped up because this takes a long while. We're at a point where we're not really fast enough to avoid them. So I have all the characters split up, run around in circles, just trying not to get maimed, but you see a bit of damage hits them every now and then. Basically, because Korn has a left leg, a robot left leg, and Leo is a robot in general. They're going to they want to be chased down, or the Holy Nation wants to chase and kill them completely. No enslavement, just murder on this one. So yeah, we're trying to get the characters that are actually fast to aggro the majority of them and just drive them away. But you can see we're horribly, horribly split. It won't be until a long time before we can stand up to these paladins. Paladins are more like a high mid-tier kind of character you fight, or more like, depending, mostly because they have pretty good equipment, but they're more like a mid-tier for most characters to fight individually. They're, especially indoors, they're kind of actually one of the weakest mid-tier characters. But right now, we stand absolutely no chance. So you can see we're trying to lure them out. We're trying to evade them. I'm trying to do everything to try to get them to aggro to other characters, unfortunately bait them into killing completely innocent people. But we'll have you can see right there, Leo's just kind of going around in circles, getting a few of them. But our luck turns around when we fight an insect. So the Great Desert has these weird desert insects that are just kind of strewn everywhere. And I managed to bait them into fighting that insect. So, some of them. So at the very minimum, it splits up the paladins so we don't get killed. In fact, one of the paladins actually kind of goes down. I do believe I go back to rob him too, just to see what's in him. It just doesn't really have anything really worthwhile. I take one of his weapons, and the other weapon he has, which is the cross pole arm, is a little too heavy for most of us to use, so we just abandon it. And eventually, we make it through. Hooray! But yeah. Now we're in the Great Desert. We're in at least the base of the Great Desert. It's polluted with slavers and manhunters, and basically, if you're ever knocked down and near any slaver, they will just grab you and take you. Some of them will turn hostile immediately, or have a little tiny mini dialogue thing that if they have a chance to attack you, they will. And like I said, tons of these insects just running around. Some of them actually bury underground, and if you don't pay attention and you walk over them, they all pop out and you're just kind of at a huge disadvantage and they, maim you. So, yeah, try to be careful in this situation. But yeah, there's Tengu's Vault up ahead, which is kind of like a high-level dungeon, so to speak. There's no real, instances or anything like that, but there are certain locations that just have sort of like a huge amount of enemies that just kind of will destroy you, and have rewards and kind of some special events inside them. So you might as well call them dungeons. Anyways, we make it to the Trade Nation's main city. Essentially, there are two main factions in the Great Desert: the United Cities and the Trade Union, or however it's called. Basically, the huge traders here. And it's usually populated by just kind of, samurais, ninjas, all sorts of things. This is where you can make the most money early on if you have a good enough thief. But I'll go into that a little bit later. But yeah, you can see this place is dangerous if you are not careful, because I think it has a higher number of potential enemies if you piss off anybody. But it also has one of the best factions to use for training. You'll see what I mean in a bit. They're the heroes, so to speak. Bad. Gear. Oh, look at these. These are the heroes, all right? So heroes are a faction in the game who are just complete pieces of shit. They just Got enough holes in your clothes? Ha ha ha, bloody freaks. If we meet them in the wild, we can fight them. They are weak as shit, too. Like, their ability to hit us is weak. If they hit us, they do damage, but they suck. So, they're super racist, and if they find us in the wild, they'll attack us. They call themselves the city heroes, right? If we want to, we can just chase them outside and be like, hey, you know, just... What you guys doing, huh? If we leave the town enough, they will attack us, and then they'll be the aggravators. We're chasing them down. We're totally not looking for a fight here. Their leader is their only strong guy. But they have a lot of penalty weapons and gear, so hopefully we don't just die. Come on. Fight us already. We're outside the city skirts. No, we're still within the cities. See, they're calling us toothpick. Hey, Spiky. See? Fucking racists. See? Now they're attacking us. And we'll hold together and try to fight them in a group. Right, get in the cluster. Get in the cluster. You too, McLark's huge. They suck at fighting, so we should be able to just deal with them. Fuck them up. Ah, sane. Don't fail. Alright, we got one of them down. Any of our... Sane is the only one close to getting down, but he was already hurt. See? Now they're hostile towards us because we beat a bunch of racists. And they're like, oh, how dare you fight us? We're just expressing our beliefs. Alright, Sane's arm is broken, so he's fighting with one arm right now. But yeah, we beat the shit out of them. Right, gang up on the leader now. The leader is the only real threat, but he's not even that good enough. See? Yeah, we can recruit people. Yeah. Bunch of racists just got owned. It's like, oh no. Oh no, I can't run. Chase after him. He called us racist names. So we do something that could be considered morally reprehensible, but maybe they're, you know, the thing behind this, or the fact that we're fighting racist, evil dudes who would do it to us if they beat us, we're going to take all of these united heroes and sell them into slavery for money, and basically chump change money too. They don't actually cost that much. Yeah, we enslave literally all of them that are still alive. I mean, they're alive, but they're slaves now. Well, I didn't claim to say that the Stone Dogs were moral people, but, you know, is this truly immoral? Anyways, so what I'm doing now, something I've actually been wanting to do for a little while. So we don't actually have too much money, and you can't exactly start a base quickly or with just a few dudes, but unless you're able to start up an industry quickly and maintain it. Basically, think of scale, right? So we're taking our first step into starting up our own big gang and then the commune. We're going to hire our first goober. Essentially, we're looking at the bar to see which one is good enough to hire. Not everyone is there for hiring other than mercenaries or, you know, actually workers. And we spot an Ashlander. Basically, we can hire this bug guy, or we can hire the Ashlander over here. We actually do just straight out hire him. Yeah. Hey, Scorchlander. All right, so they cost 3K to get one of these guys, and they're literally level 1 trash. They're extremely weak. So that's like the weakest recruits you can get. I guess it will be a training day for this man. So we hire this goober who is actually extremely weak. He's actually going to be a detriment for a while, but he has a lot of growth potential now that we're stronger. The game does enable it, so as long as you have other characters near a weak character, they'll grow a little bit better. Not because of like some experience, bonuses or whatever. It's more likely that the weak character will be able to get some shots in, will get hurt, but won't just die because the stronger character will be protecting them. So eventually you'll see us start recruiting characters who we can actually, protect, and their growth won't take as long as it did for the main cast. We give him some rudimentary gear, some of it not even giving him stats, but we just need him to be wearing stuff. And we buy our first sets of ponchos, which, let me put it this way, like the Nomad Cape is a poncho, and it is ugly as sin. But its main benefit is that it protects us against the elements. So when we're going to be training in the desert, there's sometimes the dust storms that will screw our accuracy up. So you can do this sort of thing where you pick fights during a sandstorm against stronger enemies, they receive a lot of penalties, and while you have protection against the elements, then you will have, the advantage against fighting them. So sort of like, just cheating your way up to a higher strata of power. We run around and we face our first foes. And they're not even strong ones, they're the starving vagrants. Basically, think of Hungry Bandits plus. They're not really all that strong. So, in this sense, we are fighting, yet again, more desert homeless. So, yeah, remember what I said about us kind of not being really, truly, morally upstanding citizens? Thankfully, they attacked us first, so we can mentally tell us that we're just doing this in self-defense and, fighting the homeless. Yeah, like I said, I put Frozen Stump to just kind of be blocking, but because these enemies are so weak, I'm allowing them to join the fray and basically take pot shots at the enemies. You actually get a huge experience bonus if you're actually fighting enemies considerably stronger than you. So Frozen, like I said, fighting alongside stronger teammates, will get a few cheap shots here and there and whatnot, and it'll give him a huge increases in melee attack. So yeah, he's basically going to be boosted, so to speak. This is a good old, World of Warcraft, carrying the twink kind of thing going on. But yeah, right now, starving vagrants are the least of our issues. They're just weak little enemies. We're going to be fighting a lot of them. We're going to be looking to explore in every city, just to find more recruits, potential ones that we don't have to pay, because sometimes you can find recruits that are just join you for some like story reason or for whatever event, and they have their own little hang-ups, like either they have a bounty on them, or you have to trigger a special condition, such as have enough money but not in too much money to be pickpocketed. There's a lot of those little special unique interactions. But in general, to find more recruits, you just kind of go into a bar and be like, hey, you, join me. Here's like a fat stack of money. And that's about it. But yeah, you can see the desert storm is blazing right now, the dust storm. So in a fight and during the situation, some of our characters who have proper, defenses on them or proper clothing on them will not be blinded. One of the things we're also heading to right now is to basically steal, quote unquote, a base from a faction. There are certain bases in the game that don't really offer too much, but can be used as a sort of ad hoc base while you're exploring certain areas. And what I mean by that is that inside it is relatively safe from harm, and it has stuff like beds, sometimes regenerating food, and might even have cages for you to just put enemies into so they don't attack you. And that's what we're heading off to do, to attack the heroes. Hunters. Okay, these guys suck. We're gonna fight them if they attack us. They're weaker than us by a long shot now. Naked motherfuckers. Oh, they got an AoE. But hopefully they get messed up. Leo got hurt. Holy shit. Frozen's actually like staying toe to toe with some of these guys. Yeah, these guys have like, I think, wonked ass gear. So they suck at fighting and they are not even well geared. Low level dudes to fight. And let Frozen catch up in XP, which he is kind of quickly. Heal up. And repair. Alright, we took kind of some hits there. We're not gonna fight these guys alone. We're gonna spend some money to invest into this little low level dungeon. Hey. We're gonna pay these mercenaries to fight alongside us. They can't see us because it's night. Who's got the lockpicking skill? No. Now we can just smash it. We're gonna smash this door open and then fight whatever's inside. Alright. And like I said, we have bodyguards now, so they're gonna join us in the fight too. See, this is the base of the city heroes, and that's their leader, Lord Mirage. But we have mercenaries now, and they'll help us fight them, so... We got into 2 fights along the way here, so we're lower health, and I don't want to take the risk of just getting enslaved by these dudes. Go, mercenaries, go! Where's Lord Mirage? Once we beat Lord Mirage, there he goes. This fight's pretty much over. Okay, he's got garbage, he's got money. You see, we got 22,000 from beating him, alright? And it was worth just hiring the mercenaries that were literally just standing there. Strip him naked. Alright, Frozen. Even though I just bought you these monk robes, you don't need them anymore, because now you can just wear his stuff. I mean, okay, you still probably need these pants. Attack the ones on the roof. Ah. Yeah, aside from the coats, nobody really looks the same. Everyone's kind of like a mishmash. Ah. He's bugging out. That man got comboed. There we go. So yeah, we took over this small little base now. It's ours. Not in name, but in the fact that they don't respawn and nobody really comes here. But yeah, essentially now that we have the base to ourselves, we can use it to rest, we can use it to heal, and even kind of a little bit of training sessions here that we can do. It has a few dummies, so if we recruit any other characters, we can just have them train a little bit, so they're not completely worthless against the trashiest of enemies. But yeah, there are a lot of bases like this around the world, and it is pretty beneficial to go in there, beat the shit out of whoever lives in there, and kind of pseudo take it over, right? Some enemies also have bounties on them. As you saw, Lord Mirage, the leader of this faction, had a bunch of money on them, so now we're kind of, well, still not really too wealthy, but relatively wealthy for what we should be, and it was all made pretty much in one go. But anyways, remember what I said about being immoral? We could mug that rich guy if he's still there. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's mug this rich man. Go, mercenaries. I'm gonna let the mercenaries take care of this, while the rest of us just kind of hold out. I mean, if they can survive this. There's another rich guy here. Way more powerful than that guy, though. We're just watching the mercenaries I bought beat the shit out of just some innocent man. Or get beat by him. Because holy shit. He's fucking up our mercenaries. Alright. The only one who can really attack them is McLarge right now by shooting at him. Oh fuck, he hits real hard. Alright. Try not to die, guys. Okay, he's close to dying. Go, mercenaries, go. Alright, he killed one of our mercenaries. He killed two of our mercenaries. Oh no. Okay, mercenaries, come on. I'm paying you good money. This guy's a rich guy. I'm assuming he's got money in there, and I want it. But our dudes are way too weak to take him on. So I'm okay with like, okay, I'm okay with our goons taking care of him. All right. So he's got no money on him. He's got this thing, which is pretty useful. Okay, so he's got high level gear. That was totally worth committing kind of like a war crime or something. So now we have some yellow gear. I'm going to make large huge. Let's see. It's better to have one character with a bunch of stuff and then redistribute everything else somehow. This thing is just for selling. It's going to be heavy to carry too, unfortunately. Alright. So we mugged a man, took all his stuff, and now we're going to leave him naked on the floor. Hello, perfect. In fact, we'll commit an even worse crime right now. We're gonna sell this rich man into slavery. How does he like it being rich and then enslaved? We're gonna leave one of the mercenaries here just unconscious, just unfortunately. Did we commit a crime? Possibly. But would it have been a crime not to have done that and to get advantage of somebody? Oh my god. Mercenaries, I'm sorry. You guys have to be sacrificed. We got charged by a bunch of bugs. So these mercenaries that I paid for, well, they're going to serve as a perfect distraction as we try to make it back to this other town. I'm sorry, guys, but... oh my god. I'm sorry. Anyways, after that selfless act of ours, we make it to Bark. And yes, we just again, sell this rich man into slavery, because why the hell not? So, Bark is a city in the ass end of nowhere, of the desert. We dump off all our things here and check out the town. So, Bark's whole purpose is just kind of being just the location you can rest in. It really doesn't have that many points of interest. There's a unique recruit here, but there's, we're not recruiting, families. I'm sorry about that joke, but mostly, yeah, this is a pure bro frat going in here. So we're looking for more recruits. We're getting some maybe better supplies, but we mostly just dumped off a lot of things. And in the outskirts, we're going to be just kind of harassing what we can, training as much as we can. Like I said, this is purely a rest area. It being in the corner of the universe means that the guards are actually more likely to actually defend you, because the enemies are only able to get through one gate instead of multiple entrances, and they can't. It's just a weird thing that happens with the guards sometimes, where they get distracted easily. But since all the enemies are going to be in the front, they'll always be there assisting you. They're constantly kind of under attack. So this is like a really great place to be training. So yeah, we go off and fight more of the racists out there, just beating them up. They're easy training. They don't even have gear that helps them in the dust storm. So our characters are just having a considerable advantage against them. Even Frozen can get some good shots in by himself without anybody interfering. We're doing pretty good. Training is going well. But yeah, every time we get pretty hurt after every fight, even just a little bit, because we don't want to risk the chance of being enslaved, we have to go back and heal. Like I said, the main issue with training in the desert is if you ever actually lose a fight and no one can rescue you, a slaver might find you and you will be enslaved. It's just kind of the way of the desert, right? So yeah, we beat them up, sell them into slavery, though I didn't show you in this thing, then go to sleep. Look at this little robot walking on little tiny, Tweedle feet. But yeah, training is going well, but we start getting a little cocky, so to speak, especially when you fight the farmers. Look at all these bugs. What are these guys? Please tell me these are just... Yes, that's what we want. Outlaws. These guys cannot hit us for shit in the dust. So this is what we want to fight for training. Come at us, bruh. Alright, this is the only the dudes in these jackets are worth it. But you can see the bottom left corner. Their modifiers are actually in the -12. It's because they're fighting in the dust storm and they have no protection. So the only bad thing we'll have is modifiers against we'll be having to deal with AoEs because they have a lot of polearms. But most of us, even like Frozen, should be able to handle these guys as long as we fight apart. See? This is training day, boys. Some of them also have bounties sometimes. Come on, Sane. You're getting hit by literally everything. Fight back. Frozen got beat up, but that's not surprising. Holy shit. Come on. Alright, so everybody got knocked down. Everyone regroup a little bit. How many is left? Alright, so 3 of our guys got knocked out. They should be able to wake up soon, I think. Charon isn't too hurt. Yeah. It's just they got too much chest damage. God damn it. They're forming weapons. Beat the shit out of us. Keep running. Okay. It was supposed to be easy. What's this? Oh no, triangle bandits. Oh no. Wait, they're stealing our food. No. Do not take our food. This is valuable food. Wait, who just got knocked down? Corn got hit by something. It's like, oh no. This is a disaster, man. It was supposed to be easy, but their AoEs got us. Did they already rob Charon of his food? No. The food we have is really valuable, so if they take it, it's like, oh no. We gotta lure them to the triangle bandits. McLard is huge. Lure the triangle bandits to us. Leo, keep them away from our food. Alright, so we're getting two bandit teams to fight each other right now. This is our only chance to preserve our foods. Go, triangle bandits. Alright, Charon stood back up. Sane is about standing back up soon. Oh no. Try to avoid getting killed here. Because Leo only has a little bit of chest health left. McLarge can actually fight back, kind of. But not Leo. Wait, did they put Charon back down already? Jesus Christ. God damn it, Sing. Oh. Triangle bandits, please come here and help us. Oh, fuck. Oh. Don't take our food, please. We need it ourselves. Oh no, shit. Actually, Corn is about to die. Gotta patch him up. Patch him up before he bleeds to death. Run, you stupid fuck. Oh, this is a disaster. This was a disaster. No, frozen. Leo's fine. He's a robot. See. Oh no, Satan is almost dead. Gotta patch him up too. Right now, it's McLarge huge versus the world. Stabilize him, please. Look, his chest is below. If he drops too low, he instantly bleeds to death. See, Frozen is dying. Oh no, he already stole his food. Oh my god, he stole all the food, essentially. Oh, Sane. Frozen is dying. Charon is dying. This was a mistake. Oh no, now the bugs are coming in. The bugs are in the fight too. Leo, run. Do not engage. You gotta heal somebody, Leo. Heal Frozen if you can. Big large huge distractions. Distract while the bug comes here and fights us. Run for the bug. Lure that bug to everything else. Just let the triangle bandits or the farmers deal with it. Alright, Leo. Go back to Frozen. Leo, oh no, Leo's also dying now. You gotta repair yourself instantly now. Because robots can also, quote-unquote, bleed to death. Alright. Sane is critical. Charon's critical. Oh no, the autosave. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Run. There were so many mistakes in this fight. Beep boop, beep boop. Alright, Charon is stabilized. Okay, McLarch, you gotta stabilize Frozen right now. What about Sane? Sane Man needs to be stabilized too, but I can't bring the bug back in. Yes! Focus on the bug! Alright, this guy can go save Sane Man. Go, save him. Oh my god, this is a disaster. Is Frozen fine? Yeah, Frozen's gonna live. Sane Man is close to dying, though. Stabilize him. There you go. Right. Stabilize yourself, Leo. There you go, he stabilized himself. This is so fucking dumb. Oh my god. Oh my god, the bug's back after us. Bugs, don't fight at me, fight them. God damn it. Oh, they killed one of the bugs. That dude's injured, you should be able to take care of him. Alright, so Frozen is real messed up. And they already robbed him of his food. Did we lose more food? No, only Frozen got robbed. Recovery chromas. How are we from Heft? Oh my god. It's not a short distance, I'll tell you that much. Alright, so we have a bed made. We can slowly give people a chance to recover just by tossing them on there. But it's not gonna do very much. It's like, oh no! Look at all these people crawling. Crawling. Oh my god. Are these manhunters? Okay, no, they're mercenaries. Mercenaries, come over here. Please, save me. I might have to hire them just to protect me for a little while. There's too many bugs. Save me. Save me against these bugs. Run in circles. Okay, how's Charon looking? Charon's almost gonna wake up. They're frozen. Oh my god, we just need at least one more person to wake up, and then we can kind of carry everyone back. Slowly and surely. Anyways, after that huge clusterfuck, we're kind of on the mend here. We're trying to recover. Like, damn, right? It's essentially like all the worst things that could happen kind of happened. The only thing that was kind of missing is being enslaved. So, yeah, we're trying to recover. We have one sleeping bag to use on whoever's really busted up. We don't have more, plus they take up a lot of space, plus they kind of weigh a bit. And yeah, the other thing we can do while we wait for characters to revive is kill the enemy or beat them up a little further, as you can see. Some of them are trying to crawl away to safety. It's a little grim, especially since you don't really get that much experience points from attacking them, because the game understands that these enemies are already defeated. It's just kind of cruelty at this point. But where I never said we were moral people. Now, it's kind of a fun thing about these farmers. So they're kind of trying to unite. The peasants are uniting in order to deal with the oppression of the united cities, aka the nobles, aka the rich. But they are also kind of being bandits and robbing people, so they're kind of a hostile force in general. You can ally with them too, though. And since I don't actually do that in this playthrough, I might as well tell you what happens. If you ally with them, you can start up a huge peasant army. Just go up to the groups, and they will follow you for a few days, and you can recruit as many as you can. So you just kind of have this huge peasant army. And the more and more you do for them, the more your relations improve, the more you help them take over certain locations, the better gear they get, the better trained they become. So you can see this peasant army become a professional army of, like, militia. A professional army of warriors. And you can recruit special members as well that will fight alongside you. So it's kind of one of the cool things you can see happen in this game, where a faction, because of your involvement that is positive towards them, whether you actually ally yourself with them or not, though it's better if you do ally yourself with them, they will become progressively stronger, more organized, more efficient, and they won't just be weak and starving all the time. Now, we pick up all the carcasses of our teammates and just try to drag ourselves back to one of the cities to recover. And you can see all these numbers flying, and fights everywhere. Farmers are fighting against the samurai. Bugs are fighting against samurai. Bugs are fighting against everything. And thankfully, they're here, so we don't get mauled ourselves. Because, yeah, we're not in any shape to fight anything. So one thing I hope you notice when you see me clicking around characters, especially on Frozen, is the stats of them. They've actually become pretty competent for low-level trash, I mean. Their stats are starting to get into the 20s, and, in strength and dexterity, all that good stuff. Essentially put, they're D-rank fighters now. D- in some stats, just D on the others, and D+. But that essentially means we can deal with most riffraff if we work together now, especially if our numbers start going up, especially if we get some animals alongside us too. So, essentially, certain areas of the game, we should be totally safe now unless we bite off more than we can chew, or we're dealing with some of the elite enemies like a dust boss when a group of dust bandits are around. That sort of deal. We're getting there. And it also means we can just start looking at making a base in one of the lower level zones. And that's what we're considering now. After the teammates and all of them heal up, we venture out. We end up getting into more fights with other enemies, little weak-ass manhunters who are not really that strong in the desert, although there's no dust storm right now. I'm trying to provoke them to fight us, shooting them a little bit. They have heavy, low-quality armor, and if you remember what I mentioned about it in the last video, is that if you have enemies that have low-quality armor, you can beat them, especially if you sort of just kite them around. You can see I'm using some characters to make them to kite them, while the other ones sort of just kind of 2v1 and beat them down. Their low quality armor makes it so it might take a lot longer to kill them, and if there's a lot of them sort of ganging up on one of my characters, then we'll get in an issue. But by cutting them around, splitting them up and whatnot, their really atrocious stats due to their armor are kind of working against them. So we just slowly beat them up and take care of them. Unfortunately, though, their gear is kind of trashy, and yeah, some of us do get hurt, but that's we're gonna kind of get somebody knocked out in every single fight. So we heal up, patch up, get into another fight with farmers. This time, not completely losing the fight. It is a dust storm again. We're not facing a numerical superiority of them, and there's no random bugs coming in. So we beat them, we rob them, we take a few of them maybe to possibly enslave them or sell them for a bounty, but I digress. You see more fights everywhere. So again, just good training here in the desert. But we're actually trying to make it to a different location called the Dark Finger, which is actually pretty hyper dangerous for low level characters, especially if we can't run very fast. It's kind of full of, cannibals. So there's a location in the game called the Cannibal Plains. I bet you wonder what's in the Cannibal Plains, right? So yeah, instead of being enslaved, when we get knocked down there, we get eaten. So we best be careful. But Cannibal Plains is home to a few really positive things. We're kind of on the border of it. We're just kind of being up more racist and whatnot, getting a few more licks of training in before we go. Again, Frozen Stump's location will be in the ground most likely because he is still the weakest fighter due to being recruited last. But yeah, we beat up these racists and then head off on our way. We actually pass a few hive homes. You can see them here in the little background. But yeah, we head up to Senkun and the Dark Fingers, which again is the location of the cannibals and also cannibal hunters, and also the headquarters of the peasant rebels. So yeah, it's dangerous only really in the day when the cannibals start roaming around. So we're trying to get to good locations at night, namely the cannibal hunters headquarters, which if we stay there will be protected for a little while. You can see it off in the little corner up there. We head in there, we rest up, we heal up. I'm fast forwarding as much as possible because I know how to avoid most of the dangers. So on stream, I just kind of, dodge them. We heal, we explore here, we just heal up and we steal a few things. And then we head off to the Cannibal Plains. And we're looking for a location called the Fishing Village because it's one of the best places that can high roll a few good things, but even its low roll is pretty good. So the Fishing Village has a lot of cheap recruits and some free ones too. So we pick up a few of them. Like I said, I feel like we're starting to get ready to build our first mini, small, tiny, itsy bitsy commune. Have a few farmers going. Greenfinger here is one of the unique recruits who's one of the best in the game in my opinion. Not a good combat, but starts off with good strength. Starts off with good traits in, I believe, laboring, but also farming. So he's just straight out a good character to have working for you in the very beginning. So we recruit him, and I believe there's also Hobbs here, who is also a free character. His whole thing is his stats are just kind of mixed up, but he's free completely. We also pick up. We also are considering picking up Sama over there, but we'll probably go back for her sometime later, I believe. I recruit Hobbs, Greenfinger, give them any kind of backup gear we have, and then we head off our way. Thankfully, we do fight some cannibals, but we are able to fight them with our caravan. I don't show that because it was super laggy and I just couldn't do it. And we head off to World's End, which is the Teg Hunter's home base. And the Machinist too, but the Machinist I don't think we're too complete of characters except for a lot of lore, and we'll go into that a lot later. But yeah, in the World's End, it's the location with the most varied recruits you can get, an incredible amount of items and expensive ones too. And in general, just kind of like a ridiculously good base to be in. Its main issue is that getting to it is really annoying on auto runs, so you kind of have to micromanage your way up this mountain just to get here. But you can see a whole slew of weird robot recruits and a lot of other regular human recruits, bug recruits everywhere. There's 4 bars here, so eventually every now and then it will spawn with a lot of characters you can take in. But remember, the more recruits you get, the more you have to feed them, but the more you have to give them equipment. It becomes a sort of like snowbally process, so you have to be careful about how you go. And you can see there's a lot of cool armors here. Some of them are ridiculously good. I like the long coats, which we'll buy some of them in a bit. Essentially, they're the absolute... They're considered heavy armor, but they're the lightest of it. And while they don't give you the most protection, they give you the most total protection all across your body. So, bingo bango, absolutely perfect kind of gear to get. You can see that I kind of had to save the game because we're sort of dying down near the end here. We go to the bar, we have everyone rest up, and call it there. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this episode and you join us for the next one as the Stone Dogs start a game.